Art journaling is the process of documenting your life through art, and here's a couple ideas on how to do it. It sounds a bit cheesy, but I always like to write down or create artwork out of quotes or positive affirmations that inspire me. It's also really fun to make comics out of tiny moments from the day, whether it's grievances or happy moments or quotes from friends and family. You can even create entire spreads out of a moment from just one receipt. Art journaling is also a great way to keep a record of your favorite songs or song lyrics that really speak to you, or even your favorite Pinterest outfits. Really, anything that documents where you're at in life is great to write down in your art journal. I recommend writing down your favorite moments from each month so you don't forget them, or drawing your favorite cartoon character or your current mood. Your art journal is also just a great place to experiment in general. You could pick a color palette and make a whole spread out of it, or try a new medium. Half the time I have zero idea of what a spread will look like when I'm going into it. And then at the end, I have something like this that I didn't really expect, but ends up being my favorite from the whole book. If you have any ideas, feel free to leave a comment below or check out my profile for other journaling tips.
I'm going to try my hand at drawing one of those Japanese serpent-like dragons. You know, the ones that form like an S shape and have a bunch of flowers dispersed throughout. So yeah, you can probably tell I'm not massively well versed on the culture, but they look cool, so I'm going to draw one. This piece took me over 30 hours, so I'm going to try my best to condense it into a 90-second video. Let's see what I came up with. Right, starting with the head. Here's some reference images I had to hand to help me. I mentioned I'm not massively well versed on the culture, but I figured if I'm going to draw something like this, I should at least pay the respect to do some research. In a broad sense, Japanese dragons are seen as protectors of mankind, intelligent and powerful beings that shield us from danger and impart their wisdom, which in turn inspires wealth, happiness, and well-being. In appearance, they differ to our Western idea of a dragon, in which, similar to Chinese and Korean dragons, they're serpent-like and don't have any visible wings. I'm heavily inspired by the traditional Japanese dragons I mentioned in my reference material, but I'm giving it a bit of a three-dimensional twist. I'm using real flowers throughout this piece, which admittedly aren't likely native to Japan, but oh well. The scales were an absolute ball ache to create. It took so much playing around before I managed to crack the direction and the perspective. I haven't made life easy for myself with the shape of the dragon, that's for sure. This piece is all colour pencil and white gouache so far. I like to lay down the base colour first, shade it in nice and lightly, and then I add some shadows to create depth. I then blend it all together using a colourless blender pencil for the darker tones and a white pencil for the lighter tones. Finally, I add some highlights and finishing touches with a white gouache paint. And that's us pretty much done. I think this one lends itself to a nice back print on a t-shirt and hoodie. What do you think?
Kalian kalau gambar tangan masih kayak gini, gak mau coba improve gitu biar bisa kayak gini, gini, atau gini. Nah, gua mau ngasih tips nih ke kalian, cara gua gambar tangan tuh kayak gimana. Gak pernah bosen gue bilang kalau ngegambar tuh paling enak dari bentuk sederhananya dulu. Jadi pertama kalian harus bikin basic shape kayak gini. Habis itu kalian bikin 4 titik di atas kayak gini, sama satu lagi di sini. Nah, dari titik yang udah kalian buat, kalian bisa tarik garis buat bikin jarinya. Perlu diingat, tiap jari itu punya panjang yang beda-beda, dan kalian bisa ikutin arahnya kayak gini. Nah, lanjut bikin titik lagi nih buat sendi-sendi jarinya. Nanti hasilnya kayak gini nih. Nah, dari garis dan titik yang udah kalian buat, baru sekarang kalian bisa bikin jarinya kayak gini. Nah, kalau udah 4 jari kayak gini, lanjut ke jempolnya. Sekarang bagian telapak tangannya. Telapak tangan tuh dibagi jadi 3 bagian. Yang 1 di sini, yang 2 di sini, dan yang 3 di atas gitu. Ini tuh ada sebutannya tapi apa ya, lupa gue. Nah, terakhir tinggal beri sedikit detail. Detailnya bisa bikin line art kayak gini, atau diarsir juga boleh kayak gini nih. Nah, gue arsir kayak gini biar kalian bisa tergambarkan ya. Tapi kalau buat sampingnya kayak gimana? Nah, gue juga bikin tips nih buat yang sampingnya kayak gini. Tapi sebelum lanjut, gue mau spill nih pensil yang gue pakai di video ini. Jadi pensil yang gue pakai tuh pensil 2B dari merek Delic. Pensilnya enak kalau mau buat sketsa, apalagi arsir. Dan harganya cuma 14.000, tapi kalian udah dapat 12 pieces. Oke, lanjut. Gak jauh beda sama yang sebelumnya, yang samping juga dibagi jadi beberapa bagian kayak gini. Dan ya, udah. Bisa dilihat kan yang jadi pembeda tuh cuma dari POV dan posenya aja. Nah, kalian bisa langsung praktekin sendiri dari POV yang beda atau dari posenya juga yang beda. Kalian bisa cari referensinya di Pinterest atau di mana lagi ya? Ya, pokoknya selamat belajar deh.
Stop drawing Totoro like this. This honestly just looks like Snorlax. So instead do this. Draw a curved line for the top of the head. Then zigzag shapes connected to triangles for the ears. For his body, draw 2 curved lines. Then connect the shoulders to the curved lines for the arms. Now for the stomach, draw a squiggly circle with a bunch of boomerang shapes inside of it. Use an upside down triangle for the nose, a tiny line for the mouth, and circles for the eyes. Use a flicking motion for the whiskers, and there you go, you have Totoro. Now you can doodle him all over your math notes. You're welcome.
Paint a loose landscape today using only 2 colors. I chose burnt sienna and ultramarine blue out of the watercolor set that I helped design with Artistro, and I'm just adding water to those colors and getting them ready on my palette. Before I start this painting, I want to know what color combinations I have available to me, so on a piece of scrap paper, I'm starting with my blue and then adding a little bit of burnt sienna to it every time until I get to just burnt sienna on the other side. And you can see we have quite a few colors that we can work with here. So in my sketchbook, I put a layer of water down first, and now I'm adding in the blue at the top. I don't really have a reference photo for this, I'm just kind of making it up as I go along, and then I'm adding in some burnt sienna here about halfway down the paper. I wanted this sky to be a little bit more dramatic and vibrant, so I went in with some more concentrated ultramarine blue at the top, and then I tilted my paper so that the colors would run together a little bit. While the paper was still wet, I started creating my landscape, so I'm using more of a gray tone here for the horizon line in the distance, and then using that same color and more of a dotting motion, I can create these distant tree shapes here. As I work toward the bottom of the page, I'm using warmer colors, so mixing more burnt sienna into these mixtures, and just creating a bit of an interesting landscape here. When you're doing these types of paintings, everything can be a little bit more abstract. You can kind of just imply a few things and let the viewer kind of fill in the rest. When I was really happy with that, I let it dry all the way and then added a few birds as a final touch in the sky. And here's that final painting. Give this a try yourself, and if you're looking for a new watercolor palette, I highly recommend checking out this one from Artistro. You can find it on Amazon if you search Artistro x Hannah MP, or you can click on the 3rd tab in my link tree. Thanks for watching.
My little sister and I got bored, so we created shoujo characters. She said we should make a princess who can travel through time. Her ideal love interest would have bushy eyebrows. Designing the princess's knight and lady in waiting. Who should she end up with?
I've been having so much fun being more involved in the tattoo community recently, and one design that I love to see is the Daruma doll, often seen in traditional Japanese tattoos, so I decided to learn a little bit more about them. I learned that Darumas are a symbol of luck and encouragement, and their effects last for about a year, so people often buy them at the beginning of each year or when reaching certain life milestones. When you buy a Daruma doll, their eyes are blank, so you colour in the left eye to set a goal, and the right eye when that goal's been completed. They serve as a reminder and motivator to push you to where you want to be, which I think is a really cool idea. After the year has ended, you bring the doll back to the temple you bought it from, and you burn it, releasing its energy and showing respect for its spirit. I thought this little guy would be perfect to draw with this lovely red colour, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out, especially with the gold, pink and olive green I used. I think they work so beautifully together, and I can't wait to see what else I can do with these colours. If anyone who is watching is Japanese, I would love to hear anything else about the Daruma dolls and their history and meaning, and please feel free to correct me if I got anything wrong.
Let's do another semi-random sketchbook tour. This is a Loic term sketchbook I did in 2016. I skipped the first couple of pages because they have pictures TikTok won't let me show you, but you can see there's a few false starts on sketches towards the beginning of this book, and then this is the year I was really into using Fude nib fountain pens and ink wash. That's when I kind of started all of that, 2016. I was also really trying to focus on natural landscapes for a little bit during there, just trying to figure out things like rocks and trees. There's some museum sketches in here. That's an aviation museum. Under construction building. There's the workshop in my garage. I did start drawing my daughter a lot, Junie. She's my oldest daughter, and that was when she was sleeping in the stroller. And there's another shot of my workshop in the garage. This is the living room after our daughter had gone to bed. That's Boulder, Colorado. Some interiors of coffee shops in various places. Another false start. That's the dining room in our house. That's looking inside the pantry of our house. Another coffee shop or a brewery or someplace. There's some more tree studies, just practicing trees. There's our guest bathroom looking in from the outside. And another coffee shop. My wife's studio space in our master bedroom. Another shot of the living room. Some more tree studies. Quite a bit of those in here. Didn't realize how into those I was. Some landing gear studies from an aviation museum. Our bathroom. Another living room shot, random house, and that's it.
The best sketch artist in the world. Others were painting. Instead, she is drawing a flipbook. DP Art Drawing. The nickname Mobile Printer. She spent 481 hours, using 833 sheets of paper to draw the Lisa flipbook. The effect is really amazing. This is just her initial test. She went on to spend another 737 hours. 1,434 sheets were used. Draw the scene of the final confrontation between Iron Man and Thanos in the Avengers. This time, the effect is too shocking. If you are not satisfied with the above, then her next action will definitely leave you dumbfounded. To challenge yourself, she can draw with a pencil tip held by chopsticks. She can also draw on already finished paper after overwriting and revising multiple times to paint another painting. It was later upgraded. This time she used compass to draw many drawings on one sheet of paper. She can even paint with two minds. Draw different people with left and right hands at the same time. It's not enough. She used two hands draw square and circle at the same time. Two different people are drawn at the same time. But she thinks it's easy. So this time, the two pens were taped to a wooden stick. Then you look carefully at her drawing. Even one hand draws Ronaldo and Messi at the same time. Do you think she is awesome?
I do it over and over again. That's my life, over and 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 over.
Your body's beat by the window seat. Little eyes look high up into blues and style.
A day in the life of a stay-at-home, burned-out, degenerate college student with no friends, no money, no job, no motivation, no social life, no relationship, no love life, no personality, no bitches. No riz, no skills, no sense of direction, no driver's license, nowhere to go, no money, no bodies, no desire to do anything. Bone dry DMs, anxiety, dry humor, overshare, daddy issues, mommy issues, people issues, TikTok addiction, no perception of reality, antisocial, no savings, no backup plan, no patience, no talent, sleeps with her mom, lazy AF, broke a.
Hello, my name is Emily and I've been plein air painting every day while I'm living in Japan. So today I'll be painting this old house. First I'll start with some thumbnails to better understand the building and also decide my composition. Next I'll make my main sketch. First just making a rough sketch of the big forms and then using a finer pencil on top to refine my drawing. Once I'm happy enough with the drawing, I'll set up my paints to begin painting. This time I'm starting off with some bright orange and laying in a sort of underpainting. In a building with so many brownish blackish tones, I still want to keep color and not let the dark colors take over too much. From there I'll start laying in some of those darker tones and try to mimic the look of the wooden boards. And I'll continue to layer on different colors and build up my values and textures. For the foliage, I first like to make a simplified shape with a lighter green and then layer on a darker green after to add the shadow and form. I was really lucky to catch this on camera, but as I was painting, this cat came around the corner and I totally scared it away. From there, I'll continue adding layers to adjust my values and more details. This time, I was really short on time, so you can see the street light has turned on and I need to wrap up. So from there I'll continue adding in a few last details, and I really liked the kind of glowing effect of this light, so I tried to add that in. And then I'll continue to just layer in a little bit more to kind of adjust the contrast. However, at the same time I'm losing the light, so I need to finish up. And so that brings us to the end of the painting. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed.
Don't know what I'm supposed to be. You know? I tried being a writer, but I hate what I write. And I tried taking pictures, but they're so mediocre, you know? And every girl goes through a photography phase.
You'll figure that out.
Same fucking game. When you come back and you text me, you say all the shit I've been grabbing. You left me on red after what you said. I don't know. We don't know how to do this. 'Cause I'm so tired. I'm so tired playing game.
Here's a super easy way to fill your sketchbook. Draw a bunch of thin leaves on a page in one color, and then go in and do the same thing with a couple other colors. Be sure to keep your color palette very limited to add a cohesive look. It will look like a cool, modern wallpaper when you're done.
Yeah, they see me, they salute to have a juku. Some pink pumps, pink thumbs, and a tutu. Some pink lips, pink blush on my YouTube. Now everybody chugga-lugging on my choo-choo. Some bubble gum blowing bubbles, they're not choo-choo. Some pink toe.
Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
I drank a beer. I drank another beer. 3 beers. 4 beers.
Oh no.
5 beers.
Oh
no. 6 beers. 7 beers. 8 beers. 9 beers. And a Bloody Mary.